the Famicom might be dying, but Famista keeps on truckin'. Well, kind of. The 7th entry in Namco's baseball series signals a major shift in Namco's strategy for the platform. 3 months after the release of Famista '92, Super Famista is released. And that's where they're really putting all of their efforts. Famista on the Famicom becomes a stripped-down release, targeting young children, and having even less effort put into it than it used to. While Super Famista are the actual Famista games. The Famicom Famista games are now intended for beginners and young children, and so a lot of features have been stripped out. But there are a handful of low-effort additions to the '92 version. There's a practice mode for batting and fielding. You just repeat those actions over and over again until you decide to stop. And there's a trade mode where you can basically merge 2 teams together. You don't have any control over the merger, however, so this becomes more of a way to shuffle up the teams after you've played for a while, than something you'd want to use to build your dream team of players. The other big addition is that this is the first Famista game to use digital voice samples. So only 4 years behind Jaleco's Moero Pro Yaku. When it comes to playing baseball, nothing has changed for Famista. And that's actually becoming a bit of a problem. There have been Famicom baseball games that play a lot better than this, that don't have your outfielders feel all stiff, and offer a lot better action at the plate. In 1991, you're just buying Famista because Famista's the brand. Except, people weren't buying Famista anymore. Or at least not in the same quantity. Baseball was actually losing a bit of its popularity at the time in Japan, and this was the first Famista game to not be the best-selling game the week of its release. It was the best-selling Famicom game that week, but that only put it number 4 in sales. Some people attribute this slowdown to how the most popular teams in Japan were having their worst seasons ever in 1991. The Hanshin Tigers are the biggest team in Japan, but they were at the absolute bottom of the rankings for everything that year. And the second most popular team, the Giants, weren't much better. I'm not going to say that was the cause, but maybe all the baseball fans in Tokyo and Osaka just weren't really feeling it that year. There's one more notable change in Famista '92, and that's how they went back to some very generic stadiums. Famista '91 had Fenway Park and the cornfield from Field of Dreams. Famista '92 doesn't even have the Tokyo Dome. Famista '92 was not a popular entry in the series, and I feel like Namco's actually regressing a bit here. At this point, '90 was the peak of the series with the most full-featured game, and every iteration since then has done less. Even if you had a tolerance for Famicom baseball, Famista '92 is probably not the one you want to play. It feels like one of the games that was copying Famista, rather than being the trendsetter.